Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 860 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back to the show. Glad to see everybody bright and early. Glad to be back. Glad it's Steeler Friday, and glad I just went through Thanksgiving because I do have a lot to be thankful for. We'll get into all that here shortly on the show. I do want to say good morning to everybody on the board. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you're at. For a lot of people, it is morning still. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Cody. Great seeing you, brother. Always great seeing you, man. Bingo. I'm telling you, those Marble Old Miss helmets are fire. Kings of the North, baby. Tortilla. What's up, big tortilla? Kings of the North 4-2. I don't know what he's got going on there. Miss Pittsburgh, she says, good afternoon, everybody. Here we go, Steelers. That's right. We got a big game this weekend, guys. Believe it or not, it got a lot more interesting for us yesterday. Of course, a lot of you know this already. We're going to get into all of that real soon and take a look at why our playoff chances might have just got better and why a deeper run in the playoffs just became more possible for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll get into that and so much more today. I do want to say to everybody, welcome back. This is Steeler Friday. This is Buffalo Bills week. We do play the Bills at home on Sunday at 4:25. The Bills come out with a 7-4 record. Steelers are 6-5. A lot of things to talk about today. And you know what? We ain't got much time because football continues today at 3 o'clock with the Chicago Bears. They play somebody. They play Philadelphia. So, guys, it's going to be a lot of football from here on out. I love it. The only thing I don't love, it just gets us one day closer to Mariah Carey singing that all she wants for Christmas is me. And, you know how that is. Let's see. Good morning, Tyrone, my man. What's up, my dog? He says, fuck that Ratbirds, baby. I couldn't agree with you more. I got a lot to say about that Baltimore Raven team. I got a little bit to say about this Buffalo Bill team, and I got a hell of a lot to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers team. We're going to get into all this today. Cody, he says, fire Terrell Austin. Let Mike Tolman take over play calling. If he stays the same, fire him too. Tortilla says Baltimore is the biggest losers, which is good because if they weren't, then I would be. After taking a total ass whooping in the first day of the CBS Pick'ems, and I mean a total ass whooping, but I'm okay with it because every single game helped the Steelers, even the NFC game. We'll get into that in a lot more. Also, Lamar Jackson, a bum. That's right, Tyrone. You know what? He MVP my ass. That's all I got to say. Got to remember, guys, the Steelers scored 31 and 33 points against this Bengals defense. Ravens struggle. Even when we struggled against them, we scored 31 or 33. The Ravens manager only scored 14, committing 5 turnovers in this game. Again, the great MVP. A couple fumbles of his own, some interceptions. It was a joy to watch. And I'm going to be honest, even as a Steeler fan, it was nice to watch little Joey B out there. You know what? I'm not hating the Bengals. We might hate them a little bit later down the road. Because they become a little bit more relevant after the win last night for the right reasons, I think. So, again, watch out for this Bengals team. We laugh, but only 2 games behind us, one and a half game behind us right now, technically, as the Steelers, 2 games behind Baltimore as we do move forward. But, guys, again, this is a huge game, and it just got a lot bigger, and I'm feeling more optimistic about it. So much to get into today. Let's see what else we got going on. Miss Pittsburgh says the game was one hell of a game, so the Bengals did us a favor. They did us a huge favor. And I'm glad we're done playing the Bengals. Also, she says this, Baltimore tried to be too cute last night and lost the game. Phil says, what's up, Watt fans? Teflon Dawn sucks. Tortilla could 9-8 win the division. I certainly think that it can. Cody says we can't draft a rookie quarterback under this regime. They're going to ruin another young quarterback, whether we're even able to get the quarterback we want because of where we land in the draft every particular year and the way it's kind of looking this year. So again, this quarterback situation, who knows how it is going to be resolved. Cody says this, I picked the Bengals and the Cowboys. That was smart on you, man. I sure didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. Cody also says, man, George Pickens killed the Chiefs. I say this. I say, who cares about George Pickens? And I say this often. But I read a headline the other day. It was a local writer. And he said, anybody that trades George Pickens away for a 3rd-round draft pick should be fired. And I think that I kind of blow over the George Pickens thing because he's gone now. He's none of my business, whatever. But what do you guys think? That really hit home. Should somebody that traded away that particular guy for just a 3rd-round draft pick, should they be fired? Just curious, see what you guys think. Lindsay, good morning to you. Good afternoon. Always great seeing Lindsay on the board. Tyrone says I locked Bengals, but lost the other 2. It's all right, man. You're still ahead of me. And that's, and it's cool because as I'm watching these games and I'm monitoring the scores, if it's helping the Steelers, I don't care if I lose. I would rather be the biggest loser here on the show than our team take the, put themselves in a worse position. So, I'll take it. I will take it. I have the rest of the weekend. I'll try to get back at it, but did not do well in the first day. Tyrone says, Lindsay, how about them shitbirds? Lindsay says, yep, I love to see it. F the shitbird, she says. Lindsay also says, everybody glazes them. They suck. Tyrone says, I got more faith in players, not coaches. Tortilla says it was 3rd and 5th, so we just barely made the cut. 3rd and 5th, okay. Also, Phil says, everybody should be fired. Everybody. I don't care who they are. Water boys, maintenance men, janitors. Phil has the pink slips for all of them ready to go. Cody say, yes, I'm starting to think Omar Khan can't build a franchise. He made us worse this year by going out and get better players. How can this even be? Might have to start asking these questions, though, guys. Tyrone says he's doing good besides that trade for real. Also following that up by saying Danny Smith can stay. Definitely better than Kevin Colbert's bitch ass. I think a lot of people could agree with that as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what moves he continues to make moving forward, trying to improve this team, trying to get better, not only down the road, but this year, and looking at the players that he put in place in position this year. And can we finally play that one complete game? Can we get one? Even Indianapolis wasn't that complete game. Even a win over the top seeded New England Patriots early in the season wasn't a perfect game. every team has a perfect game in them. I do believe this. I truly do. I truly do. Every team has that one perfect game in them in their season. And luckily for us, we have it coming down the pike at some point. We don't know when, but maybe this weekend. I don't know. We got a lot of things to look at today as the field opens back up, as the Steelers hop back into first place, as the Steelers regain the division tiebreaker. They didn't regain it. They tied it. Now they're both Steelers and the Ravens are both 2-1 in the division. So the Ravens, even if we were tied, wouldn't be the first this weekend. It would actually go to the third tiebreaker, which is conference record. And we actually own that over Baltimore. 3 of our 5 losses thus far have been to the NFC, and we actually own the next tiebreaker. So if we end up losing this round or this game, which we might not, and I'm going to get into that, but we will actually have the tiebreaker. We'll be in other words, we're going to be in first place at the end of this weekend, no matter what. Do what you want with that. Say what you want about that. But come on. I mean, a majority of the season, with the exception of 1 week, our team was in first place. Again, here's my other point. And people are going to say, but you know what? This team stinks. There's no way. There's no way anything could happen for this team in the playoffs. They might as well just end it now. But you know what? I might agree with that. Hadn't the rest of the whole entire league been as inconsistent as we? And when I say this, there's no one team as there usually is. Sometimes the Colts are sitting, the Chiefs are sitting at 10-1 at this point in the season, or Buffalo's at 9-3. Even with New England being 8-2 or whatever it is that they are, do you really feel that that's that team? Do you feel that they're that New England Patriots team that nobody's going to beat in the playoffs? Do you think that they're going to be the Kansas City Chiefs? No. And I'm going to be honest with you. This goes the whole way across the board, all the way over into the NFC, as we watch Detroit lay a blueprint yesterday on how to beat them, because they're not quite as good as they're supposed to be. So those last 6 weeks, guys, as this league continues to be as inconsistent as I've ever seen it, maybe, those last 6 games are starting to look a little less intimidating. But why? We didn't play any games since we talked last. But as I watched these 3 games play out on Thanksgiving, the more I realized how inconsistent this league is. Look at our division. Look at the top dog. Look at MVP. I mean, this team was predicted to win this division hands down, the Baltimore Ravens. And if you watched this game last night like I did, you were very unimpressed, not only because you're a Steeler fan, but because you're a football fan, and you noticed that was a terrible, terrible output by Baltimore. Also, what else do we have in the conference? Kansas City losing again yesterday. That's big. Also helps us out. And finally, the NFC game. Like I was saying, the Lions, who in the NFC is consistent? Who over there could be the team that you would say has been that powerhouse Philadelphia Eagles squad for the past 5 years? Even Philly sitting there with 3 losses, they still have an inconsistent look to them. They're going to be tough, don't get me wrong, as a lot of these teams are. They're NFL players. So at the end of the day, I think the playing field evened out for a lot of teams. And it really, really, really hit me. And don't get me wrong, it hit me as the Ravens were losing and these other teams were losing. But the one that really hit me was how in it the Cincinnati Bengals are. The Cincinnati Bengals, unfortunately for us and everybody else in the division, they're actually playing their best football now, getting Joe Burrow back. But again, as it was last year, they're sitting in the same exact spot before they won 5 games in a row to finish that season last year. Joe Burrow back. I'm just saying, why am I talking so much about the Bengals? Because the Ravens get them again next week. Not next week, but next week after they play us. The Ravens got the Bengals this week. They lost. They play us, and then they play the Bengals again. I'm going to pull up the schedules here in just a moment. You know what? I have them in front of me. I'm going to pull them up now. Let's have fun, guys. So this is what the Ravens have left on their schedule. They have 5 games left. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. They just lost to Cincy at home last night. And I'm talking about, again, this defense, 32nd in the league. Ravens only managed to put up 14 points. You know what? They're a lot more similar to us than we know that they are, believe me. They have something that works called a Derrick Henry. and they decide to stop running him entirely. If that wasn't the biggest Pittsburgh Steeler move as of late, I don't know what is. We get a guy hot. We get Pat Freiermuth. He catches 3 touchdowns in 2 games. We stop throwing to him. You get Darnell Washington runs people over like he's King Kong, and they stop throwing to him. Jalen Warren starts a game with a 35-yard run. They stop handing it to him. So a lot of ways, the Ravens are very similar to us as they go away from their bread and butter, their running game, their Derrick Henry. But again, these are all the more reasons I think that we are still involved, and even more involved today than we were last week or a couple of days ago. Sorry. So here we go. This is the Baltimore Ravens remaining schedule, guys. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. The Patriots. At Green Bay. And then again to wrap up the season at Pittsburgh. Guys, one more time. They play us, then they go to Cincy, then they play the best team in the league with the Patriots, record-wise at least. Then they go to Green Bay, and then they come to Pittsburgh to wrap it up, guys. I like our odds, and I'm going to tell you why. This is what our schedule looks like. Yes, Buffalo is next. We'll get into that game so much today, a lot more to get into because it is Buffalo Bills week. But besides Buffalo, we play at Baltimore, and then Miami, and then a Detroit team that, again, is not the same team that they've been. I don't even know if they're in the same ballpark. Still mad talented players, but again, they're falling into this season of craziness. And then Cleveland, and then Baltimore. So I tend to think things had shifted a little bit after I actually seen a whole Baltimore Ravens game. Yes, it was the worst game of the year for them, blah, 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 blah. We could say that too. The fact of the matter is they got that ass whoop. They gave up 5 turnovers. Lamar was fumbling the ball and throwing the ball like crazy. He did not look anything like an MVP. He looked like a P. There's no M's and no V's in him. Believe me. They stopped running their big dog. And the defense is just a little bit better than wet toilet paper. And I got to be honest with you, there's nothing about this Ravens team that scares me this year. As a matter of fact, I think we could beat Baltimore twice this year. Lamar doesn't use his legs nearly as much as he did when he was younger. That takes a huge piece of their game and just throws it out. That's what you feared about Lamar Jackson. He was going to up and run on you. The fact of the matter is he just doesn't anymore. Can he? Yeah. Will he? Maybe. But he just doesn't in general. So that is something that you have to like. It can only be fair, guys. I gave you the 6-6 Ravens schedule, the 6-5 Steelers schedule, just to be fair because they're making it a game. The Cincinnati Bengals, they finish up like this, and I think this could be beneficial as well for us. They also play Buffalo next. They travel to Western New York next weekend to take on the Bills. Also, they have Baltimore again. So whatever way you want to slice that, I would rather Cincinnati win because they are behind and it would help and bring the Ravens down a little bit. But any way you slice it in this division battle, those two teams still play each other again next week. So it's going to help us one way or the other. We have to do our thing, of course. It's one thing we can't glaze over. We have to do our part. After Baltimore, they have at Miami. At Miami. And then they go to Arizona, and then they finish up against Cleveland, which, again, the Cleveland-Cincinnati game always, they're tough competition. So they not exactly having the easiest ride for the rest of the way either. So, again, the division is number one. You got to win your division. You want to win your division. That is always the goal first and foremost. And, again, I think it really opened up like the Red Sea last night as Baltimore continued to give the ball to the 32nd best defense in the entire league. And again, failed to score more than 2 touchdowns in this game. And I just want to keep pointing that out because we're such this terrible mess. And we are, don't get me wrong, we have a mess. But we did manage to score 31 points and 33 points against the Bengals in a win and a loss. So Ravens scoring 14 in their first game kind of tells you something. In its entirety, I don't think, but it tells you something. A lot of things, guys, to get into today. And I'm talking mad things. The scores from yesterday's games were like this. The first game of the day, Green Bay, they did beat the Detroit Lions 31-24. The Dallas Cowboys, they beat Kansas City. You know what? There was this theory that Kansas City was just kind of lingering, and once they get into the playoffs, they're just going to do what they do. I don't think so. Again, this makes me convinced that this year is just a weirdo year. And when weirdo years happen, weirdo teams tend to pull it off. 2000. it wasn't the greatest show on turf. It was the Baltimore Ravens that pulled it off the following year after the Rams did win. Even after that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with their great defense in 03, they managed to get one of those weirdo years. And even the Steelers, guys, in a sense, when we came in as a 6th seed 20 years ago, we had the worst offensive line in the league. And I believe Tom Brady was hurt that year. It was a weirdo year. We sneak in, we get it done. Very uncharacteristically, gadget plays, 75-yard touchdown runs, and then also a questionable touchdown by our quarterback. With that being said, I am to believe we are in better shape than I thought we were 3 days ago. Let me continue. Also, yesterday was the game last night. Of course, Cincinnati 32, Baltimore 14. Today we have Black Friday action. This is going to be the Bears at the Eagles. I'm sorry. This game is at 3:00 p.m. today. And then we kick back off on Sunday to continue our NFL action. I do want to say this, though. If you haven't, and I noticed a lot of people did, but still, I noticed there was a couple that was that still wasn't completed. Guys, make sure you get over, get them CBS pick'ems filled in. You don't want to lose out. Listen, you're tied with me, even if you missed every game this week. And I'm cool with that, though. It's like I said, it's helping the team, so I'm fine with it. But make sure you get over there and get your games filled in and see where you land, because I tell you what, things are shifting, and everything, and everybody in the middle is only 1 or 2, 3 points different. So it can still do a lot of moving. The top is getting tough. The top has been tough, and I got to be honest with you, RB's been tough. A couple other names on the top of the list, so make sure you get in, get those picks in. You don't want to miss out, guys, as it does continue this weekend, today, NFL today. So don't forget, if you don't have it filled in, let me grab a couple messages, guys, and we're going to continue to move forward. We have a lot of things to say today about what happened last night and about what's going to happen on Sunday, I do believe. All right, I'm going to go right about here. All right, I know where we're at. We're right here. Cody says this. He says, yeah, I'm starting to think Omar Khan can't build a franchise. He made us the worst year. Tyrone says, Cody, he's doing good besides for that. All right, maybe I did grab a couple of these ones already. Here we go. Cody says, this is going to be the worst defense under Mike Tomlin in his career. 6 30-point games. You know, it's true. It is true. Lindsay says, I still don't think we're beating the Bills. And I don't think their matchups got any better since the last time we talked either. And I did say that the matchups were certainly a disadvantage. And I'm going to get into how we might be able to exploit them here shortly. Tortilla. Well, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Lions all coming off of losses, and they are our next opponents. Yes, they are big names, but I'd rather face them at their lowest than at their best. Tyrone says we're going to see who knows what teams show up. Definitely with A-Rod back. Cody says Roman Wilson is a bust. Good team fit, not the best player. We could have had Jalen McMillan, Con trash. I know. Is this wide receiver experiment over? Can it be over? Because as DK goes down the other game, I'm looking at your receiving core. What is it? Calvin Austin, who's disappeared into the night. Roman Wilson, who's keeps trying to appear into the night, but he keeps disappearing. And then, of course, Skoranek and Miller. Please tell me that the wide receiver experiment is over, please. Cody says got DK for a second, traded Pickens for a third. He practiced yesterday. Excuse me, so sorry. Tortilla, Bengals forced like 5 turnovers. They sure did. That old MVP was putting the ball all over the ground, man. Cody says Omar Khan's garbage. Tyrone says if we could win this game and beat the Ravens, we might knock them out. Tyrone also says, was Omar doing much better than Kevin? Trust on my life, his draft was ass. Free Omar. Tortilla says, besides GP trade and Slay pickup, I haven't liked. Fearless Steel says Matt Canada still coaching that offense. Tortilla, is Matt America now? Cody says, yep. Mason McCormick, Caleb Johnson, Roman Wilson, Broderick Jones. Sign Slay, get rid of Pickens balling. Bingo says, I'm all out of optimism. And I don't blame you. I got to be honest, I don't blame you. Tortilla says, I guess Lamar could still be hurt. That's why he doesn't run as much. He is not a good quarterback without his run game. He's average at best without his legs. And I've always said that. I've always liked him. When I played in Louisville, I was a Pitt guy, so we got beat by him, and I recognized his talents early, and I would have loved to have him. But the one thing that I said prior to the draft, I said, watch the Ravens get this guy. Watch them get this guy. He could be a thorn for our side for the next decade. Fortunately, he hasn't been. So, you know what? We'll take that. Tortilla says, I guess Lamar could. You got that one. Also, Tortilla says, Cody Darnell in the fourth, Peyton in the fourth, Will Howard. Tortilla saying, Cody says, someone messing up this team. We did better with less talent. Phil still calling for Rudy with his stash, the stash chance. They're alive and well. Cody is over it, Lindsay said. Tortilla says that's a coaching thing. It ain't Kwan's fault. He got more talent on the roster. Cody says, I am haha heads need to roll. Oh, I am. Haha. Heads needs to roll. There's no excuses for our defense sucking this bad. I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. Tortilla, if Kwan purposely got less talent, then sure. Mark Malone, what's up, dude? Great seeing Mark Malone on this Steeler Friday. He says, 'twas a Thanksgiving miracle. Christopher, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Christopher on the board. He says, just as George Pickens gets along with CD Lamb, he would have gotten along with DK Metcalf. Dallas would have not beaten Kansas City without him. Tyrone says, I just want Smith to actually call good plays. Me too, brother. Me too. Phyllis still says, are you having a Ratbird watch party at Peach's Massage Parlor? You know what? I don't think we are this week. I listen. It's Thanksgiving weekend. Trying to keep these guys, getting all these guys in one place would be impossible. Derpy's literally playing video games right now. Let's move on. No, but I don't think there's watch party. There may still be some more in the future, but again, not this weekend. Black Magic, my man Jamal. What's up, gang, bro? Always great seeing Jamal on the board, my man. Hope you had a great holiday. And Mike Tomlin, not for life, is said by Cody. Guys, I do want to, before I move on, want to say this. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I hope everybody got to spend time with their family, have good moments, and eat delicious food, and watch football that was beneficial to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I know I sure did. Again, very thankful for all those things. Thankful for you guys. Thankful for everything that has to do with this show, guys. And I do want to say happy Thanksgiving to you, just in case I missed it the other day. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Let's start getting ready for the big one, I guess. We got Christmas in less than a month. But you know what? We got the Steelers to get us through. All kind of things to get into today. Jamal says it's too early. Bingo says thankful for that for sure. Phil says at Ryan, not this week. Next week versus the Ratbirds. You know what? And I respect that opinion. And you know what? I also share that opinion, but I'm trying to talk myself into. And as I said, as I'm seeing the league roll along in this this mess that it is. It is. It's if this is the parity that we were asking for, I guess it's kind of worth it because again, everybody's still in it at this point in the year, basically, and nobody's truly ran away with it. So that benefits us, unless we were the team running away with it, and we're not. So again, we're in the mix of things. And as you're watching some of these teams, some teams look like they have it together, but the consistency certainly isn't there. Green Bay loses games to the shittiest teams. They beat the better teams. It's just been this inconsistent vibe all year long. And again, I think that this benefits teams like the Steelers who aren't exactly playing great football. So again, I think that I'm feeling better today again. I don't know if maybe it was the turkey, but I think it was the games. I think it was what I saw. Being able to sit down and watch all these games in their entirety helped. And again, helped me believe that I think that we could do something. I do want to say it was pretty cool. It was almost a a John Madden tribute day Thursday night. Thursday football was this year. Thanksgiving, of course, John Madden always being involved in the Thanksgiving games. Yeah, Tyrone, what's up, dude? Tyrone is saying he has breaking news on the board. So I am paying attention to you, my friend. Dude, put it up. Terrible board is hot today. Cody says, I think Ryan, you smoking that good? Should I try, man? If it ain't the good shit, you wasting your money. Lindsay says, no one is playing great football. I agree. You got to like that. You got to like that. Everybody, it's unpredictable. Let's see. Let's take a look at some numbers here. All right, here we go. I do want to say this as well first. Pro Bowl voting is open. Get out there and pick up your phone and push some buttons and open and get the Pro Bowl voting out. It is open, guys. I on the board today. Give me your opinion because I had a hard time thinking. I think I thought of a couple. I think I thought of a couple players that could be all pro worthy on this football team, Pro Bowl worthy. Today, put some teams, guys up on the board that you think might be Pro Bowl worthy. I mean, come on, we have somebody. As weird as the league is this year, you can't say all the goods or come on, who do we think, guys? My two are this. Boz, I think Boz is Pro Bowl worthy, and also Fatanu. And I think if Fatanu gets the Pro Bowl team, makes the Pro Bowl team this year, I think that just catapults his career because he's one of these young guys that you don't hear called out a lot because there's not a lot of penalties and things like this. So those two guys are my Pro Bowlers this year. When I do get on the vote, it is going to be Boz and Fatanu, maybe more. I don't know. I have to look and see. But guys, also that did open up over the past couple of days. Do be sure to get in there and get your Pro Bowl Steelers Pro Bowl picks voted on. Get our guys in there, and it's flag football, but nonetheless, getting our guys in there is always worth it. Aaron Rodgers was a full participant at practice yesterday. Quite optimistic. The team is optimistic. Coach is optimistic that Aaron is going to be starting on Sunday. I like our chances a lot better. Tortilla's voting for Mason Rudolph. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to pull up the reports too. Let me pull up the injury reports before we really get into it because I don't want to forget. I'll be 10 minutes left in the show. Like shit, I didn't do the injury reports. Let me give you the injury reports real quick here, fellas, ladies. Here we go. The Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday at practice. They had an early 11:30 practice yesterday for the holiday. These following people did not participate in practice. Ben Skoranek with his shoulder. Broderick Jones, of course, out with his stinger, and Derek Harmon out with his knee. Limited practice yesterday was Joey Porter Jr. with his hip. Was limited, and full participation yesterday was Aaron Rodgers with the wrist, DK with his ankle, Jonnu off of a rest day, Isaac Seumalo off of a rest day, Cam off of an ankle, TJ Watt off of his rest day, and Alex Highsmith off of his pec, all back to full participation yesterday. So we're getting healthy at the right time as well. We're going to be able to do the things that we need to do with the pieces being in place. I don't know. I hope that we can, but that's what our report looks like right now as far as the Buffalo Bills go. Did not practice. Offensive tackle, Spencer Brown. They could be without both of their starting offensive tackles, Buffalo can be. That's pretty big. I know that happened a few weeks ago where it didn't quite play to our advantage against the Chargers. They had neither offensive tackle starting. We weren't able to take advantage, but we're in the position again. Let's see if the second time could be a charm. Wide receiver Curtis Samuel, he was out with an elbow, knee. Terrell Bernard, he was out with his elbow. The linebacker and also wide receiver Josh Palmer, he was out with his ankle. Limited was Dalton Kincaid with his hammy. And then back to full practice yesterday was Josh Allen, of course, with his right elbow. Joey Bosa with his wrist. Reggie Gilliam, the fullback, with his knee, was back to full participation. Tylon Grable off his concussion. Cornerback Maxwell Harrison. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones with an illness. He is back. And defensive lineman Mathis, he is back with his shoulder as well. So generally healthy, about as healthy as we are. They got some guys out, some guys injured, some guys playing hurt. And you know what? This time of the year, there's not many teams that don't. So just kind of take that as it is. Again, like I said, if both of the offensive tackles that start for the Bills don't play, I think that we have to find a way to take advantage of this. Otherwise, guys, it could be another long day. So, that is one of the keys to winning the game, obviously. Take advantage of their injuries. I'll get to the rest of the keys to winning this football game later on in the show. As of right now, we are back in the playoffs, as I mentioned, sitting number one in our division, number 4 overall in the AFC. And if we played a playoff game this weekend, we would, in fact, be hosting the LA Chargers. I like that. Again, we lost, but you know what? It's tough to beat a team 2 times in the league. And again, maybe you learned something last time. Could have went a lot better. There was a lot of things that could have went better. It certainly didn't. So again, if that be the case, but we do have 6 weeks of football left, so a lot of things could happen between now and then. Things about Buffalo that scares me. They have the number 1 running team in the league. Is Jekyll or Hyde going to show up for the Steelers? Is it our defense that's going to be able to shut the run down like we do? Or is it going to be a team that lets them gash us like we do? I said last week I didn't like the matchup because of Josh Allen ultimately and the balance he creates with the Buffalo Bills offense. One thing that the Steelers despise is good balance because then they have to play on their heels a lot of the time. And Buffalo knows this. They're not dumb. They're a good football team, and they're going to try to exploit it. But we can't play on our heels. Every game we played on our heels, we lost. You got to play your game. You got to do what you do. Yes, you got to drop your heels at some point. But, I mean, we're damn near on our knees at some point during these games. Again, the versatility of what Josh can do with his legs and his arm is what makes this team dangerous. Without that, I don't think this team is dangerous at all. I think they're comparable to everybody else, to be honest with you. So, again, you got to neutralize that guy. You got to neutralize him. As if you were playing Patrick Mahomes, as if you were playing any great quarterback. You got to find a way to neutralize them. And, again, the fact that they are very balanced. They can run and pass with the best of them. That certainly goes a long way in beating a team like the Steelers. But the defense on the other side isn't the greatest defense ever. I think we could move the ball. I think we could do things. The big goal this week, obviously, is containing and figuring out how to keep Josh Allen from killing you. And taking advantage of the 2 injured starting offensive tackles is a good place to start. And keeping Josh Allen off the field, which means if you got to run the ball more, run the ball more. Keep that clock moving. You don't want that clock stopping every time, every pass that's thrown against a team like Buffalo. You want that team on their sideline as much as you possibly can. You want that quarterback on the sideline as much as you possibly can. You want that offense, that number 1 running game. This isn't talked about enough. But you got to keep them guys off the field. We beat Brady like this in the past. We beat good teams like this in the past. It works. It's foolproof. You just got to be able to run and stick with the run. Again, Baltimore showed us last night what happens when you don't. You have a guy like Henry, and the guy just is not touching the ball for a quarter. It's crazy to me. Again, they're a little bit more like us than we knew, and I think that's scary. What else we want to get into, guys? A lot of things to get into today. Kind of branching off of what I just said. And I mentioned it last week. You got to use your bruisers. You got them. Why it took 3 years to discover Darnell Washington, I mean, is a mystery. These guys literally couldn't take it. I mean, come on. Every time Darnell Washington has the ball, he either jumps over somebody, runs over 6 guys. It's a crime that this guy only got 2 touches last game in the loss. Use him. You got to use him. You got to use Jalen Warren as a battering ram. Again, wear him down, wear him down, wear him down. Keep the feet moving. Keep the ball on the ground a lot of the time. I know we get pass happy because Aaron's back there, and we want to see a big 20-yard gain, which we haven't seen in a month through the air. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to keep that clock running because a couple incomplete passes, you're off the field, and it's less than a minute maybe on a drive. Guess what? You're giving Josh Allen and this versatile offense and their number 1 running team more time on the field. So again, very important. They got to keep this team off the field. And what that means is their offense has to help their defense, and the offense has to stay on the field. The offense has to run the ball. The offense has to get first downs. 3 and outs just isn't going to work against this team. People always say touchdowns, not field goals. I think field goals are such a vital way of the Steelers scoring, and it has been for many, many of years. In my opinion, you got to take the points. First quarter, going for it on 4th down in the red zone is fine if you're good. It's fine if you've been successful. It's fine if you're able to be a cute team. We're not at that point. Get your damn points and move on. How many times have we seen that this year? We go for it on 4th down. Oh, that's a good call. We could have had it. We should have had it. But it's time to play smart. Play situational. Take the points and move on. It's going to be tough to keep this a low-scoring game. It's going to be tough to keep it close, and it's going to be tough to keep it ugly. But you know what? If the Steelers do that, they may have a chance against this team because, again, Buffalo, they could do a lot. So you want to disrupt that any way that you can. Let me get back on the board, guys. It is Steeler Friday. It is Bills week. I don't want to miss anything today. Let's get back on to the board to see what's being said. Bingo says this: Joey Bursa is always hurt. You ain't shitting, man. But he's tough though. I seen him play the other week, and when he's not hurt, man, he's still got that motor on him. Ukulele, yes, he did get suspended for the PEDs. He is out for 5 games. Tortilla, like bro on IR, why he getting tested? Yeah, it makes you wonder, man. Still says someone on our defense needs PEDs. Damn straight. Tyrone says Dalton Kincaid questionable too. Tortilla says this: they probably tested Ukulele so TJ doesn't get tested. Tomlin needs PEDs. Steel. I do want to say what's up to Steel. Hope you had a great holiday as well. Cody, our defense is so sorry. Bingo. Ukulele suspended for pedo. What? Steel Loyal says every time we talk shit about our defense, we ball out. So our defense is trash. They're the worst. They can't stop the run game for shit. Feel the Steel says still too many 3-and-outs by Steelers offense, and Smith sucks at offensive coordinator. What did he say? Arthur Smith, he come out and says, we're going to, this is what, he was asked about the lack of explosive plays. Do you want to hear the calculated response that our offensive coordinator gave? Because they brought up, bro, we haven't had over a pass over 20 yards in a month, blah, 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 blah. Actually, 0-11 in that situation, blah, 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 blah. Arthur Smith, the calculated offensive coordinator that he is, his response was this quote: we're going to try like hell to get explosive plays. End of quote. So there you go. They're going to try like hell. Tortilla says, I saw our defense push a special needs child. Cody, we can move the ball 2 yards a pass. That's got to change. I mean, is it because we have a lack of talent at wide receiver? Is it, say what you will, the quarterback has 19, 20 touchdowns on the season. Something's got to give at some point here. Bingo says this, then like 1-ply, soft, like 2-ply. I love the toilet paper reference. Tyrone says this, you need, Tomlin has went 61 games. I do know this, and it's really embarrassing. And it's rough to think about because Tyrone, that's never happened in the history of the league. No coach, his team has ever gone 61 straight games and hasn't scored over 7 points in the first quarter. No coach ever. None. Not the 0-16 Cleveland Browns coach. Not the 0-16 Detroit Lions coach. Nobody. No coach's team ever went that long with that record. Steel Loyal says our defense stepped on a Lego. Tyrone says I got faith in defense for real offense. ... Cody, why even play? Why even pass? We should just run every play. They got to be smart. That's all. It's hard for us to say right now because games are situational. You got to feel it out and see what's working, what isn't, and a lot of times I think we try to outsmart ourselves. And the thing about I said before about us not being cute, we're not that smart either. Don't be cute. Don't be smart. Play football. Bingo says at Tortilla, most impressive push our D's had all year. Steele says Jalen Warren with 45 carries. Tyrone says give Warren and Gainwell the ball. Absolutely. Warren and Gainwell have to. And if you know what, if you're not switching them in and out, and here's the thing, you notice sometimes when Warren's having a productive game, Gainwell isn't able to get it started, or vice versa. Sometimes Gainwell just really takes off, and Warren's getting caught in the backfield a lot. So again, everything is situational. I understand that. And people will say, well, maybe that's not why, because again, Jalen Warren started last game with a 35-yard run. And it didn't seem like he touched the ball again until the second half. So just, again, don't be too cute. Don't be too smart. You got to be good to be those things. And we're still fighting to be good. I think that's safe to say. Still, Loyal says, I'd rather see Warren rush for 20 yards than us pass for 20 yards. And again, it's beneficial keeping the other guys off the field, right? No better defense than a good offense. Cody says, you have faith in the defense. 630 points games, last place in everything. I have more faith in Matt Canada's offense. Tortilla says, remember when DK said this was the best defense he's ever played against? This was supposed to be historically good, this defense. And now the Seahawks have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense. Tyrone, that's because offense can't keep drives going. You got to stay on the field. You got to get first downs. And again, I like our chances a lot better than I did a week ago with Mason Rudolph. I think everybody, for the most part, can agree with that. And it's going to be able to allow us to enjoy longer drives and, again, maybe accomplish these things that we need to accomplish to win this football game this weekend. So, again, I think Aaron Rodgers, is it the greatest? But no, it's not. But this is the best we have, and this is what we're going to go with. And, again, that's better than some teams can say right now, dealing with injuries. Steele still says this. Steele Loyal. I'm sure our defense does look historic with the bullshit we call on offense. Tyrone, then they be on BS, but definitely got faith in defense and more faith in this defense than the offense. Lindsay says, all we got to do is give the ball to Jonnu, Arthur Smith. You know what? Jonnu Smith, I could just pull my freaking hair out of my head for no other reason, but the guy is doing nothing. He was, if he wasn't a big part of the plan, if he wasn't that athletic playmaker they were bringing in to play tight end, it would be different. The fact of the matter, he's done next to nothing. It doesn't sit well with you. Cody says every turnover the Bears had, they scored a touchdown. Yeah, well, Mason's ass. He is ass. Arthur Smith, like we can't throw over 20 yards, too scary. Hey, that's what I'm saying. You're not overthinking anybody. You're not over anythinging anybody. Just get out there and play football. Put a game plan together and stick with it, or don't stick with it and make the right changes throughout the game. I don't know. I'm hoping that's not too hard for what we have going on. Bingo says this: try like hell of explosive plays equals 3 and out all day. We're going to try like hell. That's what he says. Maybe he doesn't want to give too much information away. Again, are we in this position to play these games with people? Quit focusing on this shit. Quit focusing on telling other teams that we don't know. We don't know who's going to play. Shut the fuck up. Put together a good game plan and work on executing it. That's what you should be worrying about during the week. It's a short week. I guess it's not. They practiced yesterday, but nonetheless, focus. And also, guys, think about it. This is that last run that we talk about every year. December is where the Steelers fall apart every year. Can we turn it around? Again, from what I'm seeing on these schedules, we have a shot. And that's a lot more than people thought that we had last week as we dropped out of first place for the first time and Baltimore took over the division. We thought, well, shit, we don't have a shot. We have Buffalo next. Again, I think Baltimore keeps us in this thing. As much as we hate them, you got to love them sometime. Cody says, Mike Tomlin says, I can't throw over the middle. Let's see how many jet sweeps we can do. In high school, we'd have a great offense. Listen, if this was the high school playoffs, we'd be doing wonderful. Tyrone says, like Tortilla said, Tomlin and Smith think the middle of the field is lava. And listen, let me say this. I do agree, and I do agree that it's been bad under Tomlin, but I also do want to say this. The middle of the field hasn't always been the strongest suit for the Steelers historically, offense or defensively either. Yes, we've gotten really good at it on offense, but again, defensively, stopping that over the middle of the field shit, man, why are we so used to it at this point? Some people do it really well. We've never done it really well. Tortilla says Mike Tomlin plays really, really bad winning football. I like that. Tyrone also says, thanks, Ryan. Ryan, it's facts. That's embarrassing. Cody says that Mike Tomlin thrown over the middle of the field rumor started last year. Why is throwing the ball over the middle a rumor? Bingo says you don't try for explosive plays happen by exploiting weaknesses in the D by making adjustments. We're fucked. And you know what? I appreciate Bingo's take. I do. I understand the pessimism, and I can't fault him for it because again, they showed us many reasons why we could and should be pessimistic about this team. But again, guys, I mean maybe I'm just too dumb of a guy. Maybe that's my problem. Tortilla. Arthur Smith hasn't seen Star Wars. Tortilla also says, and Mike Tomlin has only seen the prequels. Tyrone, Jamal tried to convince me Johnny was better than Muth. I laughed so hard. You know what? He might be a better athletic player, but I got to be honest with you. Anything I've seen this year, Muth takes advantage of situations where Johnny has not been able to. And, the hot hand is certainly if this is our offense, if it's all about tight ends, you better use them and you better use the ones that are most effective, right? You're going to come into the season telling me we didn't pick up a wide receiver because we're going to play 36 tight ends and then not use the ones that are actually working for you. Again, don't be too cute. We're not that good. We're not that smart. We're not outsmarting anybody. You got to go out and win football games. Steel Loyal says that Tyrone, that's my joke. Steel Loyal, middle of the field is lava. Tyrone, I knew somebody said that. Also, Steel Loyal says Tortilla got credit for my joke. Likely story. It's always the second guy. Yeah, you got to watch Tortilla. You got to watch that guy. Steel Loyal says just say it louder with a super chat. Tyrone, right? We got a shot for. I think we do got a shot, dude. Albeit not a great shot, but we have a better shot than a lot of teams in this league do. And there are teams ahead of us that have a better shot than we do. I acknowledge this. And I do, before I move on any further, I do want to say thank you, Tortilla. Greatly appreciated, my friend. We'll certainly go back into the show, and you'll see the fruits of it right here, of course. Thank you. Boom, he said. Lindsay says Bengals owed us that win. They sure did. Thank you. Thanksgiving, thank you. I mean, we didn't get any turkeys. You know what I mean? Any game that you would say that was a fucking turkey. We didn't get no turkeys, which, you know what? I'll take this because every game helped us yesterday to some capacity. I truly think that it did. Even the Detroit loss is somewhat, again, just more blueprints out there to see what we got to do here in a couple weeks. And showing that they're not this dominant team that they were. Cody says this. Cody says, I don't even know how to go about this team. Are we hoping to make the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl? We're 9-8. How are we going to love Baltimore or Cincinnati? They're both going to have lower picks than us. Yinzer Nation, he says, exploiting a weakness for a potential positive result is literally trying for an explosive play. I think the getting it is the problem. Again, we haven't had one in a month. But point taken. Tortilla says, W Tortilla. Bingo says, Tortilla, that was one hell of a boom. Boom, Tortilla says. Also, Phyllis Steele says, in the 90s, Green and Bruner. 2000s, Muner and Spaeth got fed. Great OCs under the chin. You got to use your great tight end. You got to use your tight end. If your tight end is valuable and your tight end is productive, by all means, use them. And that's one thing I think we lost the advantage of by bringing in all the tight ends, because usually the tight ends is such an it's overlooked. You want to cover the skill guys. You want to make sure that they don't kill you. And then the tight end could do some damage, where we have all these tight ends. So that's what they're game planning. They're game planning on covering and watching and stopping our tight end. So again, I don't think that plays to our advantage at all. Cody says this: we win 1 week, we lose the next week. Win 1 week, lose the next week. Unfortunately, that's been the case, and unfortunately, that takes you right around 500. You got to stack wins. You got to be able to stack wins. Lindsay says they have bipolar. Cody, be sensitive. They sure do. Cody, give them some of your medication, man. Get these guys back to where they need to be. Phyllis Steele says, boom. Cody says, I think the I think the idea was to throw short passes to big guys so they can get yak, but the play blows up every time. You know what I would do? I would listen, and they haven't even tried this. Throw a bubble screen over to Darnell Washington, or just a screen. Have him sneak out and get behind them hogs. You see a nice screen play out whenever they get a bunch of blockers in front of them. Anybody? Can you see his big ass who nobody could tackle anyway? Now you got to fight through blockers to get to him, and then once you get to him, you got to figure out how to tackle the guy. That's not being cute. That's again trying to figure out ways to get guys involved and that are productive. You got to use Muth. You got to use Darnell. You got to, but they're going to be too cute. Well, let's get Jonnu out there so they don't. Fuck that. Quit wasting. Put a game plan together. Stick with it. If you have to revise it, revise for the better. Again, I don't think being too cute is the Steelers' strong point. Certainly not at this point anyway. Cody says, I think the idea was to throw a short pass. Okay, there we go. Black Magic. My man Jamal says Tyrone over here selling jokes. Jason Atkins, what's up, bro? Always great seeing you on the terrible board as well, my friend. He says we better take advantage of this because we blow it every time. And this game has two feels to me. It has the feel that this team is just going to come and dominate us as they normally do, or teams like them, or we're going to win this football game. There really is no in between for me. There really is no in between for me because we do that sometime. Tyrone says, how shit you think Tomlin is the GOAT? Of course, talking to Jamal. Steel Oil says Tyrone is innocent. Tortilla is the joke, they thief, but we love him. Of course we do. Bingo says, is that a cow? Cody says Turkey is in a food coma, flew south, hibernating for the winter. Yeah, maybe he is. Looks like a cow. That's what Bingo's saying. Tortilla, Mike Tomlin tells me what jokes to say every week. Tomlin's the cow. Bingo says Tyrone Lamar ate too much turkey. Why he played like shit. And I got to be honest, even watching the Bengals celebrate and eat the the 10-leg turkey and all the fun shit that came with it, I enjoyed it last night. It was because it helped us, but it was fun. They were out there eating turkey and even crabs because over in Maryland, that's their thing. Even the chili pasta, they had that as well. All kind of cool things after the game. Again, I would have turned it right off if the Ravens would have won, but that was too fun. I couldn't enjoy the whole thing. I stuck it out. I watched the post game. It was all right. Tyrone says Izzy's hiding right now. Well, why? What did Izzy say? Still says this. So Mike Tomlin is the thief. I knew it. Tortilla is what Steel Loyal says. Jason says this. Crazy how Bills and Ravens both get 10 days to play. Ain't that interesting? Yes. I thought of that too. Both of these teams got 10 days to prepare for us. Tortilla says this. At Still Loyal, wish he'd steal someone else's playbook. Tortilla for real still says. Jason says use Muth. He's the best tight end we had got, and they don't even use him. It's almost like, when you're standing there trying to figure out what you're going to do, why these thoughts don't cross their mind. Get the guys to make plays. And they'll throw a pop screen out to Jonnu Smith. Tyrone says use Muth and Darnell. I agree. Listen, if I'm the Steelers, I'm using both of my running backs, and I'm using those two tight ends this week. I'm going to make Buffalo's defense stop them. I think if you use those four guys correctly, I think they are going to be very difficult to stop. And you got a quarterback too whose knowledge is above what average quarterbacks are in the league. You should be able to take advantage, using the right pieces, but they're not, and that's frustrating. Again, use those four guys. You're going to be able to stay on the field longer, I think. Again, by running, pounding, staying on the field, using them big tight ends. Again, you want that clock moving through the course of the game. The more the clock stops, the less advantage we have. Tortilla says we're winning these next two games. Let me ask you this, guys. If the Steelers win against against Buffalo this weekend, and we go to Baltimore next weekend and win this game, let's just say that happens. Again, a lot has to happen for that to happen, but let's have fun. It's Thanksgiving weekend. If the Steelers manage to beat Buffalo and then Baltimore, are we feeling good about this team? Should we be feeling maybe just as good about as anybody else again? Crazy year. Nobody's consistent. At least we're in the running, right? What do you guys think? If we could pull off a win against Buffalo, and again, I don't feel so great about this Baltimore team all of a sudden after sitting down and watching them play 60 minutes. We win those 2 games, guys. And then we're coming home to play Miami. Just want to throw that out there. Miami coming to Pittsburgh in December usually doesn't play well. It just doesn't. A lot of these guys know their season's over. A lot of these guys don't want to be getting hit in the cold. They just don't. It's human nature. I get it, believe me. But let me ask you. They win these 2 games. Are we back in it in our mind? Bingo. Maybe I'm going to ask you, just because I'm curious on what, from where you're at now to where that would take you. If we come out and beat Buffalo, then we go to Baltimore next week, and then we're coming home to play the Dolphins. Dolphins week, are you feeling confident, providing that is what happens? Just kind of curious. Let's get back onto the board. Tortilla says this. Still loyal, wish he'd steal someone else's playbook. Okay, we were past this with the tight ends. All right, Tortilla says we are winning these next 2 games. Jason says this. Bengals can sneak up and win this. They can. They sure can. And that's what I'm saying. If the Bengals can win this division, mother F, so can we. Damn it. If the Bengals can get into the playoffs, then you know what? I think we could get into the playoffs. Do they have good things going on? Absolutely. And you know what? They didn't have T Higgins in last night. Next time Baltimore sees him in 2 weeks, sees the Bengals, they're gonna have T Higgins as well. Is Chase. So again, you gotta like Cincinnati's chance in that game. And again, for now, it helps us. 3 weeks down the road, it may not if they switch and flip spots, but as of right now, it'll certainly help our cause. So again, T Higgins will be back the next time Baltimore does play them, and this time we'll be in Baltimore and in Cincinnati as well. So again, just a couple more things to consider. Bingo says Muth plus Mount Washington with DK in the slot, unstoppable. Oh wait, thrown again. Feck. Tyrone says in Rod, we motherfucking trust. A-Rod. Again, in Tyrone, as I said, it's the best option we have. If there was something better, I would lobby for it. But do you go to the rookie who's never played a snap? No. You go to the career backup who's a good career backup? No. If you have the guy that has the brains of Aaron, yes, he's a weird guy. No 2 ways about it. But, he knows what he's looking at. He knows what he's looking for. Has it led us to all success? No, but you know what? Again, it's led us to 19 passing touchdowns and a pretty good red zone offense, which is a lot more than we could say for this team over the past 5 years. And again, that's the best position we have to be successful. So, A-Rod, he's a must. I think if we're going to win these, if we're going to make a run, and again, try to weather the storm of December, which again is one of the most challenging things for the Steelers as of late, you're going to want your number 1 quarterback, regardless of who it is. Cody says, Mike Tomlin always saying some crazy shit this week. You can't just imagine the aliens are among us sometimes. They crash. Did he say this? Did he say that? I didn't catch that if he had. Cody, I'm going to read this one more time just to make sure I got it right. Mike Tomlin always saying some crazy shit this week. You can't just imagine the aliens are among us sometimes. They crash from outer space. If that is true, that is hilarious. Bingo, Rod Woodson, maybe. I don't know about no A-Rod he's saying. Tyrone says, what's funny, Ryan, is where people that wanted Mason trash ass be quarterback want. Yeah. Tyrone follows it up by saying, just thinking about the W's makes me me too, man. And again, if anything, if you're a diehard Steeler fan and you want to stick through and through, and you want to see the team do as best as they can, regardless of what happens, I think watching football games certainly should have been encouraging yesterday as Steeler fans, because again, nobody's really impressive, and as long as the Chiefs aren't impressive, and as long as that's the best opportunity that we have this year, and you know what, Jay, I got to try to take advantage of it. It is what it is. It be what it be. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Tyrone saying he has his full faith back. First round playoff exit, Cody is saying. Tortilla, Pittsburgh should rename a street and call it Wild Card Road. And they should, and that should be the road that they make Mike Tomlin drive every day. Bingo, confident, but deep down, I know better. One game over 500 is the standard. It certainly has been, man. No arguing. As optimistic as I'm trying to be, and I'm trying to see the silver lining, which I'm finding more and more. Again, Thanksgiving football helped that, but it's been what it's been, and I hope we could exceed past that this year. Cody says, no, it's just some stupid shit he would say. I gotcha. Whoa, that'd been hilarious, too. Tortilla also says, when the sky is falling, go underwater. Mike Tomlin. We do not care. Tyrone says, Bingo says that Tortilla Wild Card Road will be a short street with a mandatory exit at the first opportunity. Bingo's tough. Bingo's on fire today, man. Definitely in the running for the game ball on the board today. Lindsay says we do not live in our fears. So, guys, what do you think? Again, we're going to be in first place in the end of this weekend, whether we win or whether we lose. You got to like that. If somebody has to win from the division, I would rather be us. And again, Baltimore, they have to do a lot of improving if they're going to be that team that everybody said that they were going to be in the preseason, that they were going to win this division. They were going to win it by a landslide. Certainly, again, with Cincinnati playing good football, it's going to be difficult for them. And I love it. I'm there for it. Again, that helps us out. We will take it if we could take advantage of that. So Cody says, Tomlin, some people run from Bigfoot. We go to Alaska and try to find him. That's actually really good. That can certainly be something that he says. Coach Tomlin, you did things so different today. How is it that you got you got this accomplished to beat Josh Allen in this big game? Well, some people, they run from Bigfoot. We go to Alaska to try to find him. Bingo says, fine line between feet flavored grape juice and fine wine, or something like that. Toe jam. Who knows what the fuck I was talking about? Tyrone, it's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes, is the actual quote. Yes. Oh, that's it, Bingo says. So there you go, guys. Again, Steelers sitting at 6-5 in the lead in the division heading into week 12, just 2/3 of the way through the season, guys. Was it too early for people to start jumping ship? Is it too early for people to say it's done? Or are we gonna go through this December run and win football games? Coach. Let me a couple things that Coach has said. Of course, I told you what Arthur Smith said today or yesterday. He says we're going to try like hell. We're going to try like hell to get some explosive plays. That was a quote by our coaching. Also, Terrell Austin. He says we got to coach them better. After both coaches and including head coach Mike Tomlin catch a lot of heat, not only from the media, not only from us fans, from Patrick Queen, saying, bro, the schemes are effed up, dude. We're not put in good positions to you're not putting us in good enough positions to make the plays that we need to make. Patrick Queen said this. James Harrison, plenty to say. It's garbage, he says. Ryan Clark. Also, Jim Rome. A little bit about what the media might have to say. Jim Rome, of course, he's successful. He's been there, done that. He says they're just not the Steelers anymore. This team is not like the Steelers. He says there's a vibe in Pittsburgh that has been toxic. There's a vibe in Pittsburgh that has been way too toxic. Is what Jim Rome said. Lindsay says, can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it. Try us, please. Give us some ingredient. Let us know that you're at least using pork. You're using meat. Tortilla this year has been more like drinking grapes and squashing wine. Cody, he's been giving us ingredients and we don't like it. Tyrone says we're not going to apologize for winning. Bingo, everyone likes butt sex until poop goes in your wieners. That one. Depending on how this season goes, that might be one. That might be one by the end of the week or by the end of the year. Who knows? We lose to Miami. I'm going with Bingo's butt sex and wiener phrase is going to be what comes out of the coaching press conference. Cody says, it's one thing to go full commando, but enjoy the breeze. But we will enjoy the breeze. Somber, what's up, bro? Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. Somber says, Debo said everything that needed to be said. I just hope the right people heard. I agree. And boy, did he. He went off. He was honest. And you know what? Sometimes that's what takes some people to believe and understand that there truly is a problem. And maybe that did reach the right people's ears and the right people's, that goes for what you're saying, to the right people to, make sure things are getting fixed, but also the fans as well, to say that, you know what, we're not crazy. We're not crazy. We literally see all this stuff playing out real time, and there's problems. And again, Harrison, Clark, Queen, and more have been giving their opinions. And you know what? Why don't we listen? Why does it have to be a bad thing? Obviously, things aren't going well. They're not going like we like it to go. Let's at least listen and hear these guys out if you're the Steelers. Oh, we're not going to pay attention to what the media said. Well, maybe you should sometimes. Maybe. I don't know. Let's get back on the board here. Right here. Tyrone says Debo, DC. Maybe some James Harrison taking over the Terrell Austin spot. Maybe Ben taking over Arthur Smith. I don't know if it can hurt. Can it hurt? Can it be any worse? Tyrone, never say never, but never. Lindsay said yes. Also, Bingo says DB. Oh, there it is. Gotcha. My man, same waving it, brother. He says Debo, defensive coordinator, and Ben, offensive coordinator. Again, do you think they'll be worse off? Well, these guys don't have coaching experience. They're not good coaches. But boy, they knew what the fuck they were doing on that football field, didn't they? Does that translate? No, not always. But again, they're saying the right things now. So again, maybe they're on the right path. Maybe they are figuring things out. Let's see what else we got here. What else do we got, guys? It is Buffalo Bills Friday. Buffalo Bills week, Steelers Friday. My bad. The Steelers are coming into this game as 4.5-point home dogs. They changed the time. It is a 4:25 start, not a 1 o'clock start, guys. So keep that in mind. And I know certainly people across the country at different time zones. Certainly important information for you as well, guys. It is a 4:25 start Eastern Standard Time down on the North Shore on Sunday in week 13, guys. So again, here we are. We're at the next big game. I say it every week. The game that is in front of you is the biggest game of the year. And again, guys, as the Steelers fall into first place last night, it just becomes even bigger. But with that being said, we will not be in first place when this weekend is over because we did take the division tiebreaker over. Us and Baltimore are both 2-1. We didn't take it over. We tied them, so they can't have that tiebreaker. We don't have head-to-head yet. So the next tiebreaker is conference record, and we have 3 losses out of our conference. 3 of our 5 losses have come to the NFC: Seattle, Green Bay, and also Chicago. So again, that plays in our favor. If it's a tie at the end of this weekend, which it very well could be, both teams sitting at 6-6, we will have the conference record tiebreaker, and we will technically be in first place with the same record as Baltimore, as they were this week. Again, how many times can you be gifted? Guys, Thanksgiving definitely gave us something to be thankful for. Let's take advantage. Let's prove that we're not that team anymore. Let's prove that we could turn it around. Let's prove that we didn't bring in all these big name players in vain. Come on, let's win some football games in December. We haven't done it in many years. You say we're going to change. Things are going to change. It's going to get better. Change. Bring in that guy. Let's see if it changes. Let's see if it comes to fruition, and all that stuff that we hear can be put into play. Again, we have the guys. We have guys. Look around the league. We're not the worst team out there. Come on. There's teams that are in way worse shape than we're in. And again, there's teams that are doing very well that I don't think are absolutely great. Guys, I wouldn't mind seeing Denver in the playoffs. Yes, they got a tough defense. Yes, I get this. Yes, they get a lot of sacks. Yes, I get this. And they did last year as well. The same team that we beat last year in the season, early in the season, I think 18-12, something along that line, low scoring. But again, those low scoring, ugly, close games go our way a lot of the time. When you're not a good football team, sometimes that is the way that you win football games. So again, Denver are not afraid of this team. They're number 2 in the conference. Indianapolis, are you afraid of Indianapolis? I'm not. I think we might have better chance to win in January than we do in December. New England, a team that we beat, as they are now the best team in the conference. So again, you just got to get there. Maybe, just maybe, something could happen. And if there isn't a Patrick Mahomes to knock you out the very first chance, or there isn't an MVP playing Lamar Jackson to knock you out the first chance, just maybe you could win those January games. And again, they seem to me more doable than the December games. But we got to go through December first to even get there, guys. So big game. The biggest game of the year is this weekend against Buffalo. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we're back here Monday morning celebrating Victory Monday. Not because I think we're better, not because I don't think that they're not any good. Just because, again, that's just been the year this is. I expected the Giants to get whopped by Philly. Philly whops the Giants, or the Giants whoop Philly. All through the season, how many times have you expected a team? I mean, everybody's picks are pretty similar to mine on the board. I'm in the middle of the pack, but anyway you slice it, one thing we're learning is, you know what? Anything's possible this year, and anybody is in it. And again, I think we are in better position than quite a few teams out there. Still not in as good a position as quite a few teams, but again, we're middle of the pack in it. Until we win more games and stack wins, and we're middle of the pack at 6-6, 6-5, you're going to be middle of the pack. But again, if you're middle of the pack, I think you're still in the ball game at this point. Let's get back on the board. I'm going to go right here. Volunteer. Okay, right here. Sommer says routine things done routinely. Sommer, volunteers, not hostages. Tortilla. Ben would run out there at halftime in full pads if he was. I agree. I think he would be a coach that we would love. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care what the fuck color he is. If Ben was black, white, Indian, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, an Eskimo, I don't give a fuck. I think Big Ben could be again, I think he could be somebody that the Steelers fan base could rally around. He's been successful. He's still involved in the community, still involved with the Steelers. I think he could be a lot of fun. Call me crazy. Lindsay says, can they be worse than Matt Canada? Boy, was that a bad experience. Tyrone says, Warren better have game like Bell in 2016. You ain't shitting. What do you have? 200 yards that game, I think, Bill, against Buffalo in that snow game. Tyrone's, oh, yeah, there it is. He says, in the snow, who remembers that? Somber says, I am not distracted by the pebble in my shoe. I take the pebble out and keep moving. Tortilla, my name is Mike Tomlin. Welcome to Jackass. Of course, the Johnny Knoxville line, or I guess they all said it at some point on that show, correct? Lindsay says, Somber, we are the hostages. We can't do nothing about it. All we can do is just sit here and take it. We're tied up like watching like bad things happen in front of you. Use your, I don't know, use your imagination, guys. Let's move on. We have the team. Tyrone said, you know what, Tyrone, and there's a part of me that rolls with that too. And that's the thing about having such an average team. I roll with both sides of the argument at this point. I think that things could be good, but I also think that things could be bad. And, I guess it's where that's not a bad place to be at this point in the season, especially if you're the Steelers the way that we've performed over the past 5 years. So, again, this isn't the worst situation. We've had worse, I think, going into the playoffs with Kenny or Mitch or the midget last year. Again, I think we're slightly better off than we were. We might not be showing in all the different areas of the game, but it seems that, again, let's see. We'll see. Got to win in December. Big game coming up. Ain't no two ways about that. Bingo says Ole Miss and Mississippi State brawl. I didn't catch anything of college football. And to be honest with you, I keep missing the Ole Miss references. I apologize. Somber says, LOL, facts, Lindsay. Tyrone says, I'm rolling. Mike Tomlin chiming in. He says, that's right, Tyrone, we have the team. There you go. Mike Tomlin, guys. But you is the problem, Tyrone. He's telling Tomlin that. Mike Tomlin says, my fault. Bingo says, he's here. He's here, everybody. There he is. Right there on the terrible board. Lindsay says Mike Tomlin is Jamal's burner account. I thought that was Pat Fryermuth. I thought he was more of the Pat Fryermuth guy. But hey, what do I know? Somber says this got to be. Tyrone says he crying, man. Mark Malone says I prefer Asian. Hey, you know what? If it takes us back to Super Bowl glory, I'm down, man. Get the chopsticks, get the fortune cookies. I'm ready. Cody says sometimes there's a breeze in my eyes, and that's why I blink really fast. Another Tomlinism, I think. Somber says this. They're playing right now. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha. I will watch that because I got to get in. I got to watch football. I got to. It's that time of year because if I don't, I'm going to be sitting there in May. Just think, God damn, if I would have just watched one more football game, I would have got my fill. Ole Miss versus Mississippi State. A lot of great college football this weekend, as it is rivalry weekend in college. So, guys, if you aren't into college football, be known that there is going to be a lot of good football on all through the weekend. Here in Pennsylvania, we have our state playoffs. We also have the Big Pit game, huge game against Miami this week, and then also the Steelers. So I'm gonna have my fill, not only turkey and gravy and everything else, stuffing, also football. I know this is gonna be the way that my Thanksgiving weekend plays out, and I'm cool with that. Pat Fryermuth is the GOAT, is what Cody's saying. Tyrone says, hire me. I'll win. You know what? I will. If it was my choice, I'd hire Tyrone right now. OSU, yeah, absolutely. Ohio State, Michigan, a lot of big football guys. Again, the big rival games all going down this weekend. All those crazy trophy games like between Minnesota and this team and that team. So a lot of good football in college again. A little build up for the Steelers on Sunday. We will take that as well, guys. I also did want to say this. Do not forget, especially because we do have more NFL today here in 1 hour and 33 minutes. The Chicago Bears will be playing in Philadelphia. They'll be facing off against the Eagles at a 3 o'clock Black Friday game, guys. So that is coming up here within the next couple hours. So we have that going on as well, too. How would this game benefit, if you had to sit back and think, how could this game be beneficial? I think the Bears beating Philadelphia could make us see things just a little bit more optimistically. Seeing that there isn't this one team out there that's dominant, that everybody's just like, oh, fuck it, we're done. I don't think that team exists this year. That's a plus for teams like us. The team that just beat us by 3 points last week went out and beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. So, I mean, there's small victories that you could take from everything, I think, sometimes, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We're looking for the small victories to try to keep us afloat and keep us moving forward. So, again, don't forget Black Friday football today, Chicago at Philadelphia, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, of course, across the country, that time varies, but nonetheless, let's get back onto the board here. Tortillas says this, Tyrone's first move would be signing Cody. You know what? I'd be there for it. I think our terrible board could do very well, actually. Tyrone is absolutely right, bro. Don't forget your picks. And I think most people got them, but there are a few that did miss yesterday. And I think going into today. So do not forget that, guys. Everybody's still in it, believe me. If you're looking up to me in the race, don't. I lost all 3 games yesterday. So what are you gonna do? Lindsay says, then trading him, Tortilla would be his next move. He would sign Cody and then he would trade him. Cody says Jamal, I guess Jamal ain't there. Tyrone says I'd trade him for GP. Somber says Jamal ghosting these Steeler chats now. LOL, too much Tom. And it's all good, man. Hey, listen. And I don't want it to be all about Tomlin hate. We understand the situation. I just think now that more people are actually getting on the same page about the situation, which I think is a good thing. So, I'm not going to go on and on about the guy. We know what's going on. We know we have a game this weekend, and that's all that matters at this point. Whether we approve or disapprove of the job he's doing, what is that going to change over these next couple of days? Nothing. So we just got to hold on and hope for the best and hope that we can put a game plan together and win this football game. That's, everything will have its time. Tyrone says dead ass. Also, Cody says, and then we come back in the Super Bowl and beat your asses. I like it. I like this team. They already got a good attitude. I like the direction it's going. Tortilla says, I love Tomlin, but he needs to shit or get off. I agree, dude. Please. Shit, and things will be better. Just shit. That's all. That's all you got to do, coach. Just shit. Just shit. Quit shit in the bed. And things will improve for you and us and everybody. Just shit. Cody, what was that Super Bowl score? 45-10, the Cowboys? I'm not sure which one, which Super Bowl. I gotta make Ryan Tyrone. What position you want? Oh, okay. What position you want to be? I made the whole Steeler gang on Matt. Did you really? That's freaking awesome, dude. Put me anywhere. I'll go anywhere we're needed. I'll do whatever the team needs. If I could be of value at some place more than the other, by all means, put me there. Tyrone follows it up by saying, I'm sorry, Cody says this. I talk that Tallman shit because I know pisses him off. Sommer says maybe he needs some laxative. He's gonna shit or get off the pot. Come on, dude, shit, please. Listen, if this can all be resolved, that's the best case scenario. If we could start winning under what we're doing under our coaching staff, come on, guys. Everyone's angry. Everyone's pissed. Everyone's been dealing with this for 10 years, and it'll fix itself if they start fixing it. Nobody's hoping that our coaching staff loses. We want to win just as much, more than everybody. Come on. That's why we take it so hard. Lindsay says, I need an extension or trade me to Dallas. Tyrone. You know what? Do not trade Lindsay. And if you do, it better not be for a 3rd round pick. That's all I'm going to say. She's worth way more than a 3rd round pick. Cody says this, Ryan Tyrone gave Jamal to free agency, me to Cowboys. Cowboys picked up Jamal and we beat the brakes off. I see. So the Yinzers in Dallas beating us in the Super Bowl. Gotcha. Now that makes sense. Mark Malone says he'll play the white end. You know what, Mark? No one fits the white end position more than Mark Malone. Even with that name, Mark Malone, I think, should be the white end. That's just, again, I'm not making the calls. This is Tyrone's team. But if there's a white end on this team, it's Mark. Tyrone says this, that game cheated Ryan. The D-line made me fumble 3 times in a row. God. Yes, it's Steeler Friday, baby. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk we'd have been in a good mood today? Free somber. Who would have thought we would be in a good mood today? I thought for sure Baltimore was going to win. And boy, did they really pleasantly surprise the shit out of me. That team is come on. To say they're better than us, I think is crazy. Lindsay says we fumbled because Izzy isn't a real Steeler. Izzy's catching strays, man. Tyrone says I switched it up on everyone 1 year. I switched it up. I put everyone on 1 year. They own team. So to see who the real goat is. Hey, look at Tyrone. Look at him. This guy has philosophies and plans and everything else. Tortilla is already demanding $50 million a year. And Bingo says, great gravity safety. Hold that bench down in case gravity fails. What else we got to get into today, guys? Throw anything up on the board that you might have to say about this game. I kind of threw it out there at the beginning of where I am at with it and where it can be and what can happen. And let me tell you what, we got overs and unders, and we also have let me get into this. What the Steelers got to do to beat the Buffalo Bills this weekend, guys, starts right here. This is my keys to winning on Sunday afternoon. Guys, stop the run. You got to stop the run. Stopping the run is important. Don't do anything else other than worrying about stopping the run. Well, of course, they've got the quarterback to worry about. But guys, they have the number 1 running offense in the league, which includes their quarterback. So, he's included between Cook and Allen. Allen's the number 2 rusher on the league or on the team in this season, behind Cook. So Do what you got to do to stop that run game. You got to. You got to. You're not going to win if you don't stop the run game. Key number 1 to winning Sunday, stop the run game. Key number 2 to winning on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills looks like this. Get off the field on third downs. If they continue to move the sticks on our defense and continue to move the sticks it's going to be a long day. So not only stop the run and stop Allen in the running game, get off the damn field. Defense got to get off the field. Number 3, keep the Buffalo Bills offensive line. It's kind of a carryover on the sideline. The offense can't score if they aren't on the field. And my extra key is this. It's the more not personal, but I'm just going to name a player. This guy has to really take advantage of the situation. This guy is TJ Watt. This guy makes almost as much money than one of the top 5 players in the league on defense, more money than almost the quarterbacks in this league. He has to take advantage of the tackle situation that the Buffalo Bills have right now. They could possibly be playing without two of their starting tackles. Listen to this, guys. This is why we got to take advantage, because in Chicago, they were missing their top 3 linebackers. We didn't take advantage. Did we? Did we pass over the middle? Did we continue to pound it up the middle? No. Against the Chargers, they had 2 offensive tackles out. We were unable to take advantage. Again, taking advantage of those things are necessary in this league, as this is it's competitive. These guys are all professional, the best American football players on the planet. No competition, not anywhere even close. So again, if there's a hole like they have, take advantage. The one thing that I think can be the separation, the deal breaker between it, Chicago, we lose by 3 points. We didn't attack the middle of the field. We didn't take advantage of the linebackers. In Los Angeles, we didn't take advantage of this. We lose by whatever it was we lost by. This one's at home. Let's turn the tide. Let's take advantage of the things that we have to take advantage of to win this football game. Turn the tide at home. And again, we win against Buffalo. I think a lot of people feeling a lot better on Monday morning. And then again, Baltimore next week. So you win these 2 games, guys. Throw it on your board. Are we back in it? It's not because we're consistent, not because we're playing great, because we're able to find ways in a season that everybody is inconsistent in finding ways to win football games. Let's go back on the board. I'm going to go right about here. Tyrone says, I picked Bengals, but lost other 2, shaking my head. Yeah, I lost all 3, man. It was embarrassing. But again, if it benefits my Steelers, I'm fine with it. Tyrone also says, I'm done picking the Chiefs. You ain't shitting. Cody says this, Tyrone crashed out and shut the game off at halftime. We beat y'all so bad. Tortilla, the power button is undefeated. Tyrone, shut up, Cody. I put you on the Texans, man. Tyrone, because I know you love CJ Stroud. Bingo says Houston got those big booty Latinos. Upside for sure. Cody says this, Tyrone threw his controller out the window and got it ran over by a train. GP's the GOAT, my man Jamal. I hope everything went well for you on your holiday, sir. I know that you're busy and or for whatever reason, I just want to make sure I got that out to you. I tried to get it out there earlier. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and ate a lot of food. That's what it's about, right? Mark Malone. Oh, for the love of God, yes. Don't let the 3rd and long get converted every fucking time. Bingo says in burritos and stuff. TJ Watt, 2 sacks. We are going to be hitting the overs and unders here real shortly, guys, as the show is rounding 3rd for this week, for the day. TJ Watt, 2 sacks was what Tyrone says. Phil still says, yeah, it's all Watt's fault, all of it since 2015. The guy has 33 strip sacks since 2017 or some shit, or 2017. It's insane, the amount of strip sacks that he has, forced fumbles. Yeah, it's forced fumbles, not strip sacks. I guess it's the same thing. Mike Tomlin's saying this. It was all Watt's fault, not going to lie. Mark Malone says, blame it all on the Watt man. Phyllis Steele hasn't done shit for Steeler Nation. Watt hasn't done shit for Steeler Nation. Lindsay says TJ for life. Tyrone says it's your fault. Your ass can't win a playoff game since I was in 8th grade. TJ for life. Tyrone says this. Cody, whenever Tomlin talks about the moving train, I'm like, bro, just wait outside Tyrone house. It usually stops there around 9 p.m. I don't know what that's referring to. Maybe something from the show, but I too live by trains in my life, and man, it's a whole different thing. Believe me, man. Trains in the middle of the night. I lived on this. It was right near the intersection, and they had to blow that horn every time they went through that intersection. And it gets to the point where you think they're effing with you because they'll lay on it. They'll lay on that horn, and they'll just lay on it. It's so loud. Mike Tomlin says I didn't pass 8th grade. Somber says, big booty Latinas. Hey, was you looking in my my search engine? Tyrone, I can tell no wonder you suck. Bingo says stripper sack, the trash bag she carries her stage clothes in. Nice. Okay, Tyrone, bro, dude. Yeah, me too, man. I've lived there on a couple occasions, and one time, like I said, it was literally the house right by the intersection, and it was fucked, man. It was fucked. Mike Tomlin says we literally stop there every Wednesday. He's never ready. Guys, let's get to the overs and unders today on the show. I'm going to need your help on the board. I'm going to give you some overs and unders, some numbers, some possibilities, and you let me know if it's going to be over or under. You know how it goes. Here we go for the first over and under. Over or under, Steelers 100 yards rushing on the day. I think this is key. I truly do. I think the Steelers running game plays a lot into how this game plays out ultimately. Again, if you don't use it early and you can't take advantage of it and the team starts to beat you, then you can't use it in the second half as you would. So start early, start often, let the guys that can run. You obviously don't have this plethora of wide receivers that are going to make big things happen. So again, I think that running the ball is huge in this game. So over and under, guys. Steelers running 100 yards. Is it? It's a combination. Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Warren, even Caleb Johnson, guys. Do you think the Steelers cracked the 100-yard game? And people say, well, this isn't that difficult. That's and I agree, but just throwing it up there, guys. Give me a hand on the board. Overs and unders. I'm going to continue forward, but throw up your thoughts as we do move along. Over and under, first one, Steelers 100 yards rushing this game. That's 100 yards total. I think that they do. I think if they do, I think we have a better chance of winning. I'm going to move on. Bingo is saying over on the board. He also thinks that the Steelers will rush for over 100 yards. Tortilla, feeling good about that as well. He's saying over from out in Sacramento. Let me go to the next one, guys. 1.5. Here we go. Are you ready for this one? After everything that we learned about this team, and we know that we haven't had an explosive play and everything that we've heard, next over and under 1.5 passes completed of 20 yards. Something that we haven't done in a month. Usually when something like this is brought up, teams kind of go out of their way to try to make sure that is extinguished. I hope that that's the case this week, and maybe we could break that cycle again, having our starting quarterback opposed to Mason. Yes, our starting quarterback wasn't getting it done the prior 3 weeks. I understand that entirely, but again, I like him better than Mason. I like the chances. Guys, Tyrone is saying under. He's saying under on the 1.5 passes completed of 20 yards or more. So just interesting on that one. Arthur Smith, are we talking about Tyrone? Exactly. Number 3, Bingo says under. Try too hard for explosive plays. You think that's what? Maybe they'll overdo it. Don't be cute. Play football. Number 3, Pat Fryermuth, 2.5 catches, guys. Again, somewhat facetious these Thanksgiving overs and unders are, but rightfully so. I think it's rightfully warranted. People say, well, that's crazy. Pat Fryermuth, of course, will have 2.5 catches or more, but you know how things go with this team. It's not that simple. Our overs and unders have been a lot of fun this year because of the inconsistency. I would like it not to be that way, but it is what it is. Guys, over and under, Pat Fryermuth, 2.5 catches this game. Tortilla's saying under. Tyrone's saying over. And again, in order to win this football game or have a chance to win this football game, I think the ball has got to hit his hands at some point, and over 2.5, I think, is gonna help the cause. Bingo says over barely with 3. A tight end touchdown. Is there going to be a tight end touchdown? 1/2. Over or under, guys? I'm talking Darnell Washington. I'm talking Pat Fryermuth. I'm talking Jonnu Smith. Little meatwad. Just think, if we didn't get rid of Cordero Patterson, we would have 70 tight ends. Does a tight end score a touchdown this weekend, guys? Over or under? I have a 1/2 on that. Let me know if you think more or less. Bingo saying yes. He's saying a tight end will score this weekend. And again, this is something that I think that you're going to want to see if you plan on winning this football game. I'm sorry, Chris Boswell. Chris Boswell, guys, 2.5 field goals. 2.5 field goals. 2.5 field goals made. Of any distance. 5 yards, 65 yards, whatever the case may be. Chris Boswell, 2.5 field goals made. Over or under? Tyrone saying over on Muth and Darnold, on him in Washington. Tortilla says, I forgot how bad Patterson was. Can you imagine if we wouldn't have? Come on. How many tight ends? Way over. Bingo saying way over. Way over on the field goals by Boz. Guys, let's get to the defensive side of the ball. TJ Watt, is he a half sack? Does he have a half sack in him? More or less? Over or under? Again, facing backup tackles should be very beneficial for a team like us with the pass rusher we have. It should. TJ Watt, a half sack, guys. Over or under? Bingo saying double that. Next on the overs or unders for the day. A turnover. A half a turnover caused by our defense. Tyrone says, we got breaking news. You have my attention, sir. Throw it up here, my man, whenever you can. Bingo says over 1.5. All right. Gotcha. I love that. Somber says he better have 2 or more. Would that be? He certainly do, ain't he? We're only 2/3 of the way through the season. All right, there you go, guys. Tyrone is throwing up on the terrible board right now as it is breaking. I do appreciate you, sir, as always. Tyrone says Aaron Rodgers clear to play. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you for that. That's great news. Again, I think that's something you needed to have in place if you plan on winning this football game moving forward. So big news. Thank you, Tyrone, my man. Let's see. Half a turnover caused by our defense. Do you think our defense can, again, Buffalo, they do what they do. Came off of a really bad game against Houston. Probably the worst in Josh Allen's career. Turnovers, sacks. Can the Steelers cause a half a turnover? I think a turnover is going to be something that the Steelers are going to need to also help their cause if they're going to win this football game. What do you guys think? A half of a turnover caused by our defense. Sack, interception, whatever the case may be. Tyrone said Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Tortilla, bro. No way a week kills a 41-year-old. Summer says, damn, I thought it was something exciting. Bingo says putting the bingo game on hold at Shady Acres for A-Rod. But again, it puts you, I think, in the best position you have to win. At the end of the day, Bingo's saying maybe 2 turnovers. More the merrier. Cody says Bills had 10 days to prepare for this. And that's what I don't like. And Cody, as was mentioned earlier on the board by somebody, Baltimore Ravens get 10 days as well, as they played last night. As the Bills played last Thursday, would have 10 days to prepare for us. So that don't go in our favor. But again, as I said, we're going to be in first place at the end of this weekend, no matter what. So that's got to it keeps you in the game. It keeps you in the game, guys. I think I want us to beat Buffalo. I think beating Buffalo would be huge for us. It would give us the confidence to say, you know what, you beat Buffalo. Who's going to be in January that is going to be a tougher game, in my opinion, than Buffalo? Yes, New England's good. Yes, Denver's good. Yes, all these teams are playing good football. Indianapolis. But at the end of the day, I'm feeling really good if we beat Buffalo. Because you know what? I said it since the schedule came out. I said we're probably not going to win this game in December. So if they win, Tyrone, but missing key players though, so we got to take advantage. Absolutely, and then over as well for Tyrone. Let's get to. I got two more here. Last two. Next over or under, guys. 1/2 of a defensive or special teams touchdown. 1/2 of a special teams or defensive touchdown. 2 weeks ago, 2 pick sixes, or it was a pick six and a scoop and score. Last week, TJ Watt's sack in the end zone caused a fumble. Are we hitting our stride right now at causing turnovers? Because if we are, it's a huge plus. 1/2 a touchdown, guys, scored by either the defense or the special teams. Bingo saying under. Tyrone under. Cody under. Tyrone says this. I agree, but new week. And finally, guys, the most notorious, of course, on the two Dum Yinzers over or under that we do through the weekend, rightfully so. I think that you see something that certainly started happening about 5 years ago. The injury bug has just not only us, it's around the league, but man, we sure get hit every year. 2/3 of the way through the season, guys, a third left to go. The over under is they're going to be 1/2 a devastating injury. Will there be 1/2 a devastating injury, guys? Will there be an injury to a main player that's going to have him out, or a player long term, through the end, anything that you consider a devastating injury for your football team, guys? 1/2 is the number today. Tyrone is saying under on that. Coach T is saying over. Coach T is saying over on that. Cody is saying over. Cody says, I've seen better acting in pornos. I love porno actors. Could be Rodgers. It could be Rodgers, man. He's going to be 42 this month. A lot of people keep referring him to the 41-year-old quarterback. Well, the fact of the matter is he's going to be 42 here in December, so we could even start saying that whenever we're trying to make people say, oh, you know what, he is 42. But again, you're right. He has a fractured hand. Non-throwing hand, but, guys land wrong all the time. Just a shove by a defensive lineman after a play. Never know. Could go a long way, man. It really can. So let's hope that's not the case. But again, we had to do it. We have to do it. We have to do it here on the show. So a half a devastating injury. Tortilla says under. Tortilla and Tyrone. Bingo says over. A-Rod snapped in half. Somber says, yeah, the injury gonna be the Coach T if he keeps effing up. And Cody, damn, that ninja old as fuck. 42. Come on. He's a professional. A lot. And I said this as they were debating on whether we were debating on whether he should come to the Steelers. My argument was this. He's closer to 50 than he is to 30. Closer to 50 at 41 years old than he is to 30. And 30 is considered somewhat old in the NFL. So again, he is old. Yes, definitely is old. No two ways about that. Somber about the facts, somber guys. So again, here we are. We're heading into the Bills weekend. This is Bills week, Steeler Friday. I'm going to start to get ready to wrap things up here, guys, as we are approaching that time. So let me get into this question of the day, the trivia of the day. It's the Buffalo Bills. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponents? We'll get into that in just a moment. But do check out our website when you get the chance over at www.d2dumyinzers.com. A lot of cool things going on over there. Mike does a lot of work over there. He got his dumb thoughts. He has all kind of stuff. Go check out the website, guys. You can find our contact information, anything that you need to find over at our website at www.d2dumyinzers.com. That's www.d2dumyinzers.com. All right, guys, let's get into this trivia question and then get ready to head into Mad Football Weekend. Again, in an hour and 5 minutes, we have an NFC game going on. Of course, Mississippi State, all this college football rival week. It's not going to be boring, guys. Believe me, a lot to talk about on Monday. Let's get to the question of the day. Here we go, guys. Put on your thinking hats. This is the question of the day. Bills Keon Coleman wears two mouthpieces. That's a bizarre thing. You don't see that all the time. But there's something more unique about his two mouthpieces. Can you tell me what's most unique about the two mouthpieces that Bills Keon Coleman wears every week? Every week. He's did it since college. Coleman always wears two mouthpieces. You might have seen it before. You might have said, why? What's going on? I'm going to give you the answer today. Guys, he does wear two mouthpieces every game. But what is more unique than that? Is the question of the day. Tell me what the most unique part about his two mouthpieces are. Bingo's saying Invisalign. Phil says Ask Aunt Peaches, which is both great answers. Let me get back caught up on the messages again, guys. Thank you for all the great comments and messages today heading into this Bills game. Every single one is has been great. Bingo says I am 45. I'm disabled and broken. I'm not far off from your brother. Lindsay says this: if they say AR is out, and let me start over, Lindsay. If they say AR is out 10 minutes before kickoff, I'm going to lose my shit. You ain't kidding. And we've seen that happen before. We know that. Cody says, great show today. I needed this laugh and hear too from the boys and Lindsay. Absolutely, brother. Always great seeing you as well, my friend. Tyrone says, Somber, I trolled, but last night it was funny as fuck. Tyrone, Lindsay, he's clear to play. Following that up by saying this just came out 20 minutes ago. Lindsay says, yeah, we'll see, Tyrone. We'll see. Tortilla, one of those mouthpieces is for him. One of those mouthpieces are for him, and one is for Josh Allen, talking about Keon Coleman for the question of the day. Somber says, doesn't he match the other team's colors or something? I remember reading about that. It's a good guess. Bingo says he has epilepsy, and one is a tongue depressor in case of a seizure. One is for his diamond grill. All great answers. I appreciate that, Tyrone, my man. I really, truly, honestly do. And I appreciate you, sir, as everybody on the board. Guys, question of the day, it looks a little bit like this. Bills Keon Coleman wears two mouthpieces. It's kind of a rare thing. You don't see it often, but he's done it since college. However, that's not the most bizarre thing, not the most unique thing about him wearing two mouthpieces. Some good answers on the board today. Give another second or so. Tyrone says, what was the question? My bad. Yes, the question is, Bills Keon Coleman wears two mouthpieces on his face mask every game. He's done it since college. That's unique, but that's not the most unique part of his of what he does with these two mouthpieces. Somber says, not sure what the significance is. Tyrone says, I'm not sure. All right, guys, so this is the answer to the question. Buffalo Bills Keon Coleman wears two mouthpieces. It's unique, but it's not the most unique part. I do want to say this, that somebody did get it correctly on the board. The correct answer is the most unique part about his two mouthpieces is they're always the opposing team's colors. Been it ever since college. I didn't know this. I just read it recently as well. Very interesting, in my opinion. Coleman wears two mouthpieces every week, and it's always the opponent's team colors. So black and yellow this week for Coleman's mouthpieces. Just interesting. I thought that has to be the question of the day. It has to be, because it's just such a weird kind of thing. My whole game plan is around his mouthpieces. Mike Tomlin says this. The whole game plan is around his mouthpieces. Bingo says he dips one in whiskey to keep up his intensity. Hey. Also Tyrone, oh, that's cool for real, but I thought JPJ finished strapped. You know what? I hope so. And again, JPJ was limited at practice. He hasn't been rolled out, so we will see that as well. And you know what? As I say, more the merrier. Get healthy, as healthy as you can. Because again, you want all hands on deck. This is December. Every year, it all starts here. The downfall starts here. Let's change that. In this goofy season, in 2005, nobody thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were winning a Super Bowl. You know what they did? They beat the 1, 2, and 3 seeds in the AFC, and then they went on to beat the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks. The Steelers were the 6th seed with the worst offensive line. Statistically, one of the worst. So again, guys, nothing is out of the question. You know, Cody says he wears rainbow mouthpieces for Pride Month. He may. I don't know that, but I do know that again, if they're the other team's colors, he sure does. Somber says focus on being drippy instead of playing football. Bingo says he's got another mouth in his head like an alien. Yes. I just seen something like that the other day on a video. It freaked me out, but I know exactly what you're talking about. But I think let me just go through, make sure I didn't forget anything, guys. Again, get on and vote for your favorite Steelers. I think there are a couple Pro Bowl worthy Steelers this year. My picks are Chris Boswell and Troy Fatano at this time. I might go on and just pick all Steelers just because it's what I do sometimes. However, don't forget the voting did go up for Pro Bowls. Get your favorite Steelers voted for. Get them in there. Hey, even if you just get to see our colors on Pro Bowl weekend, if we're not playing in the Super Bowl, you know what? Sometimes that's worth it. Seeing our guys, seeing our colors, we'll take it. Also, get those in, get your Pro Bowl votes in. Make sure I didn't forget anything else here as we do start to wrap the show up today. This is the one. This one. This other the one the other day where Pittsburgh has not scored 60. Okay, Pittsburgh has not scored more than 7 points in the first quarter in 61 games. That is also the longest ever. It's never happened before. So you're saying, wow, you think we're going to go to the playoffs and do well, but with these guys, again, it's the inconsistency is what's keeping me in. The inconsistency is keeping my hand in. It's keeping my interest. Is the inconsistency of the league and us and everything else. But that's definitely something to keep in mind as well, guys. Getting over 7 points in the first quarter would be a huge feat for the Steelers, and maybe this could be one of those things that just clicks something and you can turn the corner, but that remains to be seen. Let me just double check here, make sure. I got that. We got that. I believe we got everything here. So, guys, I do first of all want to say this. It is a big football weekend. If you like college football, tune in tomorrow at noon. The Pitt Panthers are hosting the Miami Hurricanes. This game also on the North Shore. Maybe get a little bit of this South Florida team coming to Pittsburgh and, the later months success. Pitt 22, Miami 12 in the country. Big game tomorrow. Goes a long way for Pitt if they can win. Penn State, they are traveling to Rutgers. Their game tomorrow is at 3:30 against the Scarlet Knights. Rutgers Scarlet Knights. That is college football, along with a lot of other great football games on this revenge week. Not revenge, but rival week. I'm sorry. Right here in Western Pennsylvania, as all over the land. I'm sure our football teams are trying to move forward in the state playoffs. We have a gang of them between today and tomorrow, so we are wishing Aliquippa and all the WPIAL teams good luck moving forward to bring that state gold home back to the Western Pennsylvania area. And finally, if hockey's your thing, you can skate over today and watch the Penguins play. They're in Columbus. They will be playing Columbus today at 7 o'clock in Columbus. Tomorrow, they'll be back at it hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs. That game is at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Don't forget to get them CBS pick'ems in, guys. I do want to start by saying these few things. If you haven't had a chance to swing by any of our social media pages, you could come to Facebook. You could come to the X. You could go to Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Hit the like button, follow, check some things out. And again, you can keep up with the two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. If you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like button below. Share, sub, comment if you'd like. Helps out on the algorithm. We appreciate it. And I also do want to say this. I know a lot of people got their drinking in the night before Thanksgiving. That is the big drinking night in America. Number 2 behind New Year's, actually. I learned this. But if you're going to do any more drinking this weekend, don't forget to stop by. And I do want to say, I seen in a post this weekend that Duquesne Pilsner is moving out of Pennsylvania. I seen posts where people were sending pictures from Ohio, about 6 or 7 other states, but Texas, Cody, I did see that somebody did send pictures from Texas to Duquesne Pilsner as well. So keep your eye open on down your way. Pick up a case of Duquesne Pilsner, guys. We always have it here in the studio. The guys over there, they certainly make sure they include us in all their promotions. We appreciate them greatly. Even swing by if you're not a drinker. Swing by their Facebook page and hit the like. I'm sure they'll appreciate that as well. But guys, do make sure to grab yourself some Duquesne Pilsner made right here in Pittsburgh. And as it says on the can, grab a Duke, guys. And finally, I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking the show out this week. Today, specifically, we certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, as you are the bloodline, the lifeline, the backbone, whatever it is. I know that this terrible board is that. The terrible board. I want to thank you. You guys always keep things interesting, and not just them, guys. Everybody at home, if you are listening, if you're watching, maybe you got earbuds, pods, whatever the case may be, in your ears at your work, or you're in traffic, you're in your car, you're at the gym. I don't care who you are. If you're listening, thank you too. We'll be back on Monday at our regular time to get into the Victory Monday mode. Hopefully that be the case. We'll certainly do that then. Let me grab a couple more of these messages, guys. I don't want to leave anybody out as we do go off today. I'm going to start right here. Yeah. Tortilla says, I'm going to be mad if Coleman cooks us. He's been disappointing as a first-round pick. Yeah, you know what? And they also got the dude from the Saints. I can't think what his name is right off the top of my head, that we wanted a couple weeks ago. They also got him. So there is certain aspects of this game that are going to be interesting as well. You don't want to see that guy kill us. Certainly, he could have been our other wide receiver, and if he comes and kills us, and that's certainly going to be a talking point moving forward. I'll hit Jamal tonight. Go live, guys. Yeah, let me know if you're going to go live tonight. I just might. I don't know what's going on with our high school football game, the radio station, the way that we're handling it. So I may be able to swing over and check things out tonight. So let me know on that. Also, so does Jamar Chase. Tyrone says Tortilla. Kobe Porter Jr. Tortilla says JPJ is him. Tyrone. No helicopter rides. Bingo. Tyrone says this. Josh Allen, don't want no smoke with my dog. Cody says, don't forget Penn State. How can you forget Penn State? How can you forget them, huh? Penn State, Tortilla is saying OSU. What's Ryan McPherson? What's up, dude? Always great seeing you pop over, man, on the terrible board. Hope everything's going well with you, and hope you had a great weekend, sir. Tyrone saying his guess for the prediction for the game, 38-26. Cody says, what? I've seen it the show. What? I've seen it show the can. Absolutely. Let me grab it for you just in 1 minute. Also, Bingo says this, make Michigan our bitch again. The big Ohio State. That's right, Bingo. Terrible board is him. Tyrone, my dogs will be live tonight talking trash with the Steeler gang. I will be checking it out. Cooks, yes, Tortilla, thank you. Cooks, Brandon Cooks, he could have been us. If he kills us this weekend, believe me, that's going to be talked about next week. He should have been our receiver. We have no receivers. Why we didn't get this guy and he comes and kills us? Gabe Davis, Ryan is also saying is going to be another person in that position, as we did speculate often early in the year that he could have been somebody that we could have picked up. Don't want to get killed by him either, of course. Tune in around 9 p.m. You can hear some train horns and police sirens. My man. Cody says this 9 o'clock p.m. So do, guys, remember that. Go check them out. Let's see. Bingo. We got Juan Valdez and a guy who cooks restaurant. Lindsay, Pitt versus Miami. Yes, Ryan, my man. It's a big win, baby. We get this win. It's going to be looking nice. I think we could beat them. I do. I think we could beat Miami. And then also Tyrone says Calvin Austin will cook this week. I hope you're right, dude. Somebody's got to cook this week. We got to keep them main players off the field. Get off the field, off on third downs on defense. What I say, stop the run. They have the number one run game in the league. Stop the run. Get off the field on third downs. Keep the Bills offense on the sideline. And when you are playing defense, take advantage of the tackles being hurt, guys. Those are my keys to winning this weekend. I'm going to, let's see, I didn't throw out a prediction. You know what? I don't even have one in my mind. Let me throw together a prediction real quick as we're getting ready to wrap things up. I'm going to say, boy, this is tough because I want the Steelers to win, and I think they can win. But I also think that Buffalo could kick our asses. I'm going to say Pittsburgh wins. And I'm going to say Pittsburgh wins 31-28. No different than any other game we play. It's going to be a 3-point finish. And that's my prediction. I'm sticking with it. Pittsburgh 31, Buffalo 28 is my prediction, guys. My score, Tyrone says, is 33-30. Same ballpark. Phil says Bills 3, Steelers 2. Cody says I took Buffalo on the pick. You know what? I did too, but don't hold me against that. um, that's because I want to win on the poll. Damn it. Let's see. Phil still says, cheers, Watt fans. See you Monday. Teflon Don sucks. Tyrone says, James Cook scares me for real more than Allen. Tyrone, Calvin Austin, definitely want to see that. I can't pick. You know what, Lindsay? I'm the same way. But I just recently this year, because I'm trying to stay in competition, and I just know how flimsy and unpredictable the Steelers have been. So I did go the Bills, but I really do. I truly believe in my heart the Steelers can win. And again, my prediction: Steelers 31, Buffalo 28 is going to be the final count on that. Tyrone says on my line. I know it's hard. It really is. Believe me. You love this team as long as we have, guys. It's a hard thing to do. It really is. Buffalo 42-27 is what Bingo is saying. Tortilla is saying Buffalo 27, Pitt 17. Cody's saying those are Lindsay's 5 losses on the pick'ems. You know what? It was mine too, to a certain point. I just got to a certain point where I thought, you know what? These games for Steelers can go anyway, as much as the rest of the league as well. I'm gonna come back to this. Tyrone, my man, Ryan McPherson. This can be like the Colts. It can be. I think that it can be. I don't. I believe that there's a shot. Cody saying 35-14 Buffalo. Lindsay, everybody, again, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a safe weekend. Whatever you decide to do, wherever you're watching the game, if you're just watching it at home or friends or whatever you're doing, just be safe. Make sure you find your way home on Sunday night safe. And it's ultimately what matters, guys. But again, I will be back first thing on Monday to get into this game and so much more. A lot of stuff going on this weekend as far as our Pittsburgh sports, as far as football, guys. So I hope to see everybody back then. And again, I hope it's a victory Monday. And if it's not, you know what? We're going to do it anyway, and we're going to still be in first place, and we're going to figure out what we got to do to beat Baltimore the next week. So a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of football left. If you left this team at the 2/3 mark and said that I'm done, shame on you. Still got a third of football left, guys. A lot of football to go. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Tyrone, my man. Everybody be safe. Tonight, here we go. Everybody get Peace Yinzers, Tortilla, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are always amazing, as you always are. Enjoy the game. Be safe. Get your terrible towels ready. Get your jerseys ready. Bring this team victory. Cody says, hey, paint, huff paint every day. Guys, thank you so much again one more time for coming and hanging out. We appreciate every one of you. We truly, honestly do. Can't wait to do it again on Monday. Have a safe, great weekend. Enjoy them leftovers. I know you got them in there. I've been grazing on them for the past 2 days. I haven't stopped eating. It's insane. But enjoy your food. Enjoy your leftovers. Enjoy the football. Enjoy Steelers. And we'll all get together on Monday to enjoy the victory, guys. So for myself here at the Two Dumb Yinzers, Mike doing some executive producer work as of late. Thank him as well. The guys on the show, everybody involved, everybody that watches, hangs out, comes in, and is involved. Thank you. This is going to be a big weekend for the Steelers, guys. We're going to move to that next level. We're going to get that win and one step closer to the playoffs. Whatever jersey Tyrone says, what jersey should I wear? JPJ, Watt, Minka, Troy, or GP? You know what? Troy Polamalu's can never go wrong. You wear a Troy Polamalu jersey, in my opinion, it's universal. It represents now, it represents then, it represents always as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I would go Troy in this one. Mike Tallman, 23-20 to Buffalo. Mike Tallman is taking Buffalo in this game. Lindsay saying, wear your Watt jersey. Guys, again, thank you so much. Stay safe. Enjoy your food. Just take it easy. It's holiday weekend, guys. Christmas is a month, but you know what? We got 6 weeks of football left. Let's do it, guys. Monday, be back regular time. Hope to see everybody then. For myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers, the amazing Terrible Board, everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Here we go, Steelers.